Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MineFam. Today is episode 12, and we're just flying through our little area here. And actually, if I turn around, you'll see some of the updates we've made to the modern area. This new building, built entirely by Viru, is going to be a pumpkin farm. And if I kind of fly down, you'll see there's no inside jets up the top, because me and Flash are gonna probably make that a little collab session, building from there up to the top as a little pumpkin farm. Flash has been doing some work in the redstone of this building, but I'll let him show that off in his episode. But for us, we have finished, well, kind of finished. We have done a lot more work in here, and I should not say finished because there's still things to do. But down here under the iron towers, we have completed a lot of the, at least the cosmetics. There's a few inner workings in there that we need to finish up, but we have gotten all this done. So right now, as you see, the lights are all off, so there's nobody breeding. And but if I sent anybody down this rail, now they go straight into here. So they come off that rail right there, and they drop right here. And they'll be still, because this is where I want to set their trades. And so I got all these workstations together so that you can set the trade right here. And then when you set the trade, you hit this button. And you can see it turns that rail on, and it sends the villager through here, and that activator rail pushes them off onto that block, and the minecart comes around here. But the villager then gets attacked by that zombie with a sharpness 5 sword, so it's nice and quick. And then when I hit this button right here, wow, voice crack, okay. There will be a minecart that comes up through that block, and to make sure the zombie doesn't get picked up, I push him up with a couple pistons. And so then the villager comes right over here and gets off that activator rail, and right here, and you can see this guy I've done it with, and this sharpness 5 book was at 1 emerald. So if I traded with this guy a little bit, he would give me sharpness 5 he would drop his price back down to 1. So don't worry about that 10. That's lower most of the time. But actually this guy was a good example, because so I have this option if I don't like the price of the book. So if this was actually 10, I could hit this button and it would send him back around here. So it'd send him here and send him back over here to where the zombie is, and push him right back here and do the whole zombie process again. But if I like the price, I can hit this good price button, and the minecart will pick the villager up. It'll come around here, and I have redstone set up to where it'll flip this rail to where it'll go here instead of here. So then he'd go out this way and along that track. I want to go in there over to this other selector panel, and this selector panel, which is the same redstone we used way back in the back there, but this one will control some rails back here. And the way I want this to work is this rail comes out or into the wall right here, and I want this area, and I'll probably have to clear some that way as well, to have like a rail station, to where when I have the buttons set up over here, so like these buttons right here, we can have signs on each of these to send whatever villager you want into a certain area of our map out there. So like for instance, if when I make the library in the modern area, this button right here could have a sign that says library, and so when I hit this button, the rails would shift to where it sends the villager to the library. And then we have one here that could say like Viru's Castle, and it sends them all the way to Viru's Castle over there, and so on and so forth. So that is what that panel is for. So in here we're pretty much done. I mean, I would love to add some detail, maybe I feel like something needs to go in these areas right here, but that's something we have to decide and figure out eventually. And we also need to do the entrance. So I want a piston door here, or that's my plan. We'll see what we can do with it. But then we also need to make some sort of entrance up here as well, because we can't just have this hole in the ground. I haven't decided if I want to make it like a secret entrance, or if I want it to just look like it's a vault of some sort, or what. But we need to do something here, or even potentially have something kind of hidden. Where's the middle? Right here, hidden in the riverbed right here, or the riverbed right here, and make it even more scientifically secret or whatnot. So, but that's something we'll do in at a later date. But we also, during my time not recording, we have finished up the slime chunks. So I will take you right over there at the moment. All right, so coming into these slime chunks, this project is something we showed off second or third episode, and then we haven't been back since. But I need to get that. But so Flash decided that we wanted to, or he decided that we should finish this, and he's absolutely right, because it was just sitting here with no collection system, no way to kill the slimes. So every time somebody was over here, it would just sit here, and slimes would spawn, and nothing would happen. But now what we've done, and you can see, I'll just go ahead and show you. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you in a minute. So we've put in 4 different spawning floors. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, and then the bottom. And as you can see, that slime right there, what's happening is slimes are attracted to iron golems, so they continuously bounce on the magma blocks, which damage them, until the big ones split, and then the medium split, and the little ones split, and then under the magma blocks there is a hopper minecart going back and forth under all 3 of those magma rows, and it's picking up the slime balls that fall right there. But for these top few layers, there is an iron golem on every level, but I didn't want the little ones to die of fall damage if they jump off on the sides. So I put the water in, and it kind of pushes them towards the golem so they can see around the wall and then hop onto the magma blocks there. One other thing we had to do was we had to push the wall out 1. So I put all the stone in, and then we had this 2-block overhang about right there, and so I didn't like that. So I just brought that all the way down and replaced all the walls with stone. So now my OCD is satisfied, and since it's all the same block up to the dirt level. And so what I want to do with this area, I think, is if you've seen the first Thor movie, when Thor's hammer lands on Earth, they put up this little plastic sheet structure around the hammer, and it was just the hammer in the middle with sky access and all that. And I think that's what I want to do with this area. I think I want to set it up to where there's like fences around the entire hole here, and then somehow make it look like the government or whoever has like come in and tried to block it off from the world. That was a fail, by the way, but let's block it off from like ground view of everything from everybody, and that they're trying to hide what's inside. So I think that's that's the look that I'm going for as far as decoration goes. But if we look at the witch farm, you know how I am with decorating stuff. I kind of get stuff done and then not decorate it, but hopefully we'll get this one done a little sooner. But as far as collection goes, we have all the hopper mine carts that are picking them up. They feed into a water stream that is dropper fed from the bottom, and all the slime balls come up here, as you can see. And we have already gotten this much slime. So I've had to take the time to craft these slime blocks a few times while I've been working on digging out the walls over here. So we have quite the supply already. And this storage system is not going to stay. I didn't want to set anything up yet because I figured Flash has a really good idea for setting up a quick craft system, which means somehow you can break a chest or a minecart chest or something to where all the slime balls kind of fall on top of you, and you can just click a crafting table and just craft all the slime balls into slime blocks without having to like reach into the chest, turn around, crafting table, make the slime blocks, put them back in the chest, and so on and so forth. But I don't know if we're doing that or if we're doing a slime or a shulker box loader or something like that. But that will not, this storage system will not remain like this for the rest of the server. So don't you worry about that. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was, or not even show you guys, just talk about, is I was not happy with the flower farm that we left the last time because it doesn't give you the flowers that I wanted it to. So let me show you a really cool tool that I found on one of Exumavoid's videos this past week to help me with that. So here we are at the flower farm on the server, and I mean, I don't hate how it's designed. I don't hate the redstone. I don't hate that. The thing that I'm not happy with is the output, and this is completely my fault because I did not plan ahead as to what area I should put this in. So what we are getting from the farm right now is red tulips, pink tulips, and the blue orchids from the swamp. Or these two are from the flower forest. This is from the swamp. And this, and then we have a lot of orange tulips and white tulips, which is kind of counterintuitive because these actually give you light gray dye and not white. But so this is all we get: red, pink, blue, or light blue, orange, and light gray. And the one flower that I really wanted was the cornflower, which I have some in my inner chest, but I'm not going to take the time. But they're the little blue flowers that give you blue dye, and which is important because they are the only flower that gives you blue dye. And the other way to get blue is from lapis lazuli, which you have to go mine, and we don't want to do that. So we needed the cornflowers, and then also let me take you to a creative world and show you the catalog of colors and how you can get them. All right, so we're here in a creative copy of the MineFam server, and we are in the same flower forest biome that I have the flower farm set up in the server, but I don't want to turn around and show you quite yet what I've got going on. So right here I've got a layout of all the colors in the game and how you can get them. So red, yellow, magenta, and pink all have 1 tall flowers and 2 tall flowers that you can get their colors from. And the reason 2 tall flowers are a little bit better is because you can just bone meal the top of the flower and it'll give you a full plant in return, and then you can get 2 dye from each of these plants. So when I build a flower farm, I don't need to consider getting these colors right here because they already have their 2 tall variants. These right here are the colors that we need to worry about. So we've got blue from the cornflower, light blue from the blue orchid, and then light gray dye from the oxeye daisies, the white tulips, and the azure bluette, or however you say it. But and then white dye, which you can get from bone meal, or you can get from the lily of the valley flower. And I wanted to try to include this because if we use less bone meal for colors, we can use it for actually using it as bone meal. So that is to save us some bone meal, which we have a bunch of, but still, it's easy to save. And then orange, we want to get in this farm as well. And then all the rest of the colors, as far as I know, you have to craft purple, cyan, gray dye, and lime. But then green comes from cactus and from smelting cactus, and brown comes from cocoa beans, and then the black comes from the wither roses or the squid ink sacs, which we have access to the wither rose with the wither rose farm. So with this, with the knowledge that I need blue, light gray, white, and orange, I downloaded a mod by Mazuma Games, and I will include the link to his video in the description because this is one of the most helpful mods I've ever found. So the way the mod works is if we type reload, the command reload, it will tell us all these instructions right here. Place grass, which is right here, not the grass block, while standing on the ground to start the system. And you can drop the grass to interrupt, blah, blah, blah. Turn particles off to save your processing. But if we stand on this block right here and we place a grass block, you see this blue square pop up. And so if we plant another piece of grass right here, it will automatically, what it's doing is it pops in all these command blocks and observer clock and dispenser. And what it's doing is it's continuously bone mealing this patch of grass to get the flowers in this area. And the other thing it does, every time you bone meal a piece of grass, it'll grow a flower and or a lot of grass. So what this mod does, or excuse me, it's a data pack. What this data pack does is it bone meals and then automatically breaks all the grass, so you're just left with the flowers. And why this is important is because of this. So in a flower forest, the flowers always grow in these patterns. This is the plains or birch forest biome. That is a plains or birch forest biome, and this is the swamp. So all these are random, or swamp is always blue orchid. Plains are random between yellow and red, and then same around these corners. But the flower forest is always consistent. So what we need to do is find a spot where we can get these 5 colors: the blue, light gray, white, and orange. So that's exactly what I did. We need 7 by 12 platforms, which I have 2 of right here. So we're going to do a double flower farm, and then we're going to include some too tall flower variant that we can bone meal like on this edge if we build a building over top of these. So this side has the light blue and the orange, and then we have and a little bit of the light gray, and then we have a byproduct of the magenta dye and some more light gray dye, and then a little extra red. But keep in mind, whenever you bone meal these, you don't always get this arrangement of flowers. You'll get a bunch of grass with a little bit of these flowers sprinkled in these patterns. So it's not like we're getting this much orange every time we bone meal, this much light gray, this much red, this much light blue, and so on. You get this over time. And then same thing over here. We have a lot of the blue, which I really need, a lot of the white, which is going to be helpful, and then a little bit more light gray. So when we hop back on the MineFam server, this is where in the exact coordinates I'm going to put the new platforms. So I already have the coordinates marked down. So this, I love looking at this, but this is where we'll put our flower farm platforms. And the reason I didn't see this blue patch before is because it's right over the water right there. And then on the server, the farm is right there, but we're going to move it to here and over there. So let's hop right back into it. All right, so hopping back in, you can see I've taken down the old flower farm, and these torches on grass blocks I have marked as the northwest corners of the platforms that we laid out over in the creative world. So the platforms are going to go 7 this way, and then they're going to go 11 more blocks in that direction for this one and that one. So this will be the space that we have between them will be from, so we'll have like the water stream here, the wall to hold in the water stream here, and then we'll have this whole space up until this block that we can design, and I think I'm going to put the 2 tall flower farms right here, just have a couple of them, and yeah, and then hopefully I'm thinking that maybe we can make a greenhouse over top of this. Now that it's a bit longer, it'll make more sense, so we can have like a white stained glass roof that'll look like the plastic or the glass that they use for greenhouses in real life, that'll go up and over and then come right back down over here, but we'll see. And then the other good thing I think about this setup is that I can, instead of having all the redstone out back like we did on the last one, I can put it all in the ground right here and not have to worry about it sticking out the backside of either of them. So I think the only redstone that will make its way up to the backside of these platforms will have to be the dispensers, and that'll be the only thing you see that will push the water to collect all the flowers and seeds that it produces with each push. So let me put these platforms in and I'll bring you right back. Alright, so I've got the two platforms put in, and and you should recognize this setup with the piston lines on either side and the dispensers in the back for the water to come across. So now we just need to find the middle of this, and this is now 11 since we have to cover one stripe. So 1, 2, 3, and this is the middle, and then 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this should be the center, I believe. So let's go ahead and before we do anything else, put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, perfect. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. And this is the one for the bone meal, if you remember correctly. So 1, 2, 3. And I think this is the middle for this one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Counting with Andy Pants. Alright, so I think this is all I'm going to have time for today. I'll go ahead and do the boring stuff, the redstone stuff underneath. I think I'm going to put the clock in the middle, right under, bury it under the floor. That way I don't have to have two separate clocks, and then it'll be easier to run the on-off switch too and everything else. So I think it'll work out pretty good. So I thank you guys so much for stopping by, showing your support. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like. Next time, I promise we will start with this, the finished product, and then we'll see what happens after that. If you do want to stay in tune with what all happens on the MineFam server, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. See ya.